Next news, breaking news.
President Trump just delivered crushing blows to the Iranian regime on multiple fronts at once. First, he revealed how he handles their so-called proposals, and then came words that the Trump FBI had just stopped a major Iran-backed terror attack targeting Jewish sites right here on American soil. At the same time, Chinese President Xi Jinping privately told Trump he agrees Iran must never get a nuclear weapon. This is the kind of total pressure that leaves the mullahs with nowhere to turn. See, American families are now safer tonight because good law enforcement and strong leadership stopped a plot that could have killed innocent people in New York and beyond. Jewish communities across the country can breathe easier knowing the Trump administration is serious about protecting them from Iran-backed extremists. Energy prices stay stable when the Strait of Hormuz remains open instead of becoming a weapon in Tehran's hands. The whole country benefits when our enemies realize their proxies are vulnerable and their diplomatic options are shrinking fast under this administration. And while our forces keep America secure against foreign threats, critical minerals right here at home are powering the technologies that make national strength possible. This breaking news from Saga Metals. They're trading in the United States as SAGMF and in Canada as SAGA. They're back in the spotlight much sooner than expected. In less than 6 months, this company's moved at a pace rarely seen in the critical minerals space. In less than 48 hours ago, Saga announced a 100% drill success rate across all 57 holes at its radar project, and they did it ahead of schedule. And that alone would be major news, but it's only part of the story. Saga also added $10 million to its treasury through a successful financing round. So watch for the in-depth interview on this topic tomorrow morning, and check the link in the description to learn how Saga is securing the resources that America needs most. Strong domestic production like this supports the same America First strength that we're seeing overseas. But the most revealing moment came when Trump explained exactly why he rejected Iran's latest offer without even finishing the first sentence. He made clear there will be no nuclear dust left behind and no fake 20-year timelines. That single rule changes everything about how these talks will end. So President Trump reveals he reads the first sentence of Iran's proposal and throws it out if he doesn't like it. Here is the president on Air Force One.
Sir, I know there'll be a lot of questions around the China trip, but just first on Iran, have you rejected the latest proposal from Iran, or where does that stand?
Well, I looked at it, and if I don't like the first sentence, I just throw it away.
What was the first sentence?
An unacceptable sentence. Because they have fully agreed, no nuclear, and if they have any nuclear of any form, I don't read the rest of it.
So 20 years is not enough for you, it's got to be a permanent...
No, 20 years is enough, but the level of guarantee from them is not enough. In other words, it's got to be a real 20 years, not a big one.
It means you've got to get all the fuel out and no more production.
We have to get everything, but we're not even talking about, I call it the nuclear dust. Came up with a term which seems to have caught on.
I'm talking about it because they would not remove the...
Yeah, they said that they can't remove it because they don't have the technology to remove it. Well, they don't.
So Trump is not just tossing Iran's proposal. His FBI just foiled a plot by Iran-backed commander targeting Jewish sites on U.S. soil. Mohammed al-Sadi, leader of Islamist Kazib Hezbollah, had 20-plus attacks planned. His target was Jewish sites, including one in New York. Here is the breaking news on this.
Remarkable effort by our FBI, Director Patel leadership, and our international partners. And we were able to intercept and get in the middle of this man's attempts to wreak havoc and terrorize not only the United States, Canada, Europe. And so we were able to introduce an undercover working with our law enforcement partners. So I think what our U.S. attorney just said is dead on, that President Trump's leadership around the world allows us to have the credibility and the partnerships to allow us to work with folks overseas. And that's what happened here. So he was brought here and appeared in court earlier today. And it is on the one hand, should be very alarming to the people in this country that there are men around the world trying to exact this sort of terror. On the other hand, it shows the success of good law enforcement work and good police work and working hard to protect our borders, which is what we do every single day. And so this investigation is ongoing. It's just a complaint. I expect the next steps will be an indictment, and obviously we're still investigating and going to make sure that anybody that was involved with him will be brought to justice as well.
Was he picked up in Iraq, and when was he brought to the United States?
He was recently brought to the United States. I want to be careful talking about the operation so I don't put anybody in danger, but it's enough to say that this was an effort that included not only the FBI, but our law enforcement partners overseas as well.
Yeah.
Wow. Imagine if that went through. So the operation relied on global pressure against Iran. Even Z is now back Trump's position that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Here's more from Air Force One.
Heard him out.
Are you going to change your wording?
No, I didn't make a comment on it. I heard him out. I have a lot of respect for him. On Iran, it's very interesting. He feels strongly they can't have a nuclear weapon. He said that very strongly. They cannot have a nuclear weapon, and he wants them to open up the strait. But as he said, they closed it, and then you closed them with a smile. And it's true. We control the strait. And they've done no business, literally they've done no business in the last 2.5 weeks, which is approximately $500 million a day. So we're doing very well on all fronts.
But sir, just before we
We are doing very well on all fronts. So President Trump's approach is crystal clear. If the first line fails on total nuclear dismantlement, he discards the rest. Combined with Z's reported backing and the foiled terror plot and the economic squeeze on the Strait of Hormuz, Iran faces total isolation. This is comprehensive pressure from every direction at once, and it's working. So America is stronger when leaders keep their word and deliver results like this. Iran is running out of options and out of time. So share this video so more people see the wins this administration is stacking up, and drop a yes or no in the comments. Are you confident President Trump will keep the pressure on Iran until it complies? And join the thousands of patriots who've already texted the words raw feed to that secret number on the screen, 844-840-4963. They're already getting direct updates on their phone, and they're already bypassing the algorithm, and I want you to as well. Make sure you check out the Next News merch shelf below this video for America 250 gear. We're going to keep bringing you the real story every single day.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now. You know out.